Hey guys, welcome to The MEDIAtors, where we talk about movies and games and all kinds of stuff, really. Mostly movies, because we watch things, but...
I thought it said MEDIAtors on it in the back. It's
no.
MEDIAtors.
It's The MEDIATors. Used to be The MovieAtors.
Mostly movie stuff now, but yeah.
All kinds of things, really.
All kinds of things.
So, yeah, we'll see. We'll just go through. Today we're talking about Eternals. Oh, man, this was... So, if you don't know what it is, it's a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. Or is it the multiverse now? I think they're still going MCU.
It's just MCU.
Man. MCU. Anyways, it's about
it could all still
characters
just be
that
MCU.
technically exist in that universe. So, it's just... That's what I love to see, because these characters have been around for thousands of years in that timeline. And, of course, you've never heard of them, you've never seen them, or anything. So... It makes it interesting to see how they bring it in to that, because they're like, wow, how do you explain away all the stuff that the Avengers did and the other characters?
They kind of do, but then they kind of don't.
It wasn't a great example. Honestly, I thought it was pretty interesting, but they tried. They did try. That's what this movie did. It tried. So, again, we watched some things like, if you set your expectations for this film, you probably won't be as disappointed as some people were, obviously.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say rightfully so, but, like, it's definitely not your standard.
It's understandable why they were disappointed.
It's not your standard Marvel movie.
No.
Like, you do not have your typical archetypes. The comedy was there for the most part of what you'd expect from a Marvel movie.
Yeah. It felt a little like less comedy.
The story structure was not there as much. So that was interesting.
You know, some people like it.
It did what it does. So, anyways, we're going from there. So, again, there will be spoilers for the movie Eternals. So, if you haven't seen it yet, this is your warning about that.
Yeah, so I mean,
there's a good bit of spoilers.
There's a little bit of spoilers.
There's a good bit of spoilers with the twists and stuff.
If you care about the story.
If you care about it, yeah, that's what most people who.
Which, if you. yeah. We'll keep
care
going
about these things. So, we start off 5000 BC.
BC, yes.
Which is very interesting. I guess that's when, like, humanity was also kind of becoming... I don't know, let me even back up before that. It starts off with a title crawl. I'm not a huge fan. Unless you're Star Wars, don't really do that. You know, it's unnecessary exposition that could be used in other places in the film.
It honestly wasn't even necessary.
Yeah, they explained everything that they talked about in the crawl in the movie. I get it. And it was kind of a bit of a spoiler, too, because I'm reading it and I'm like, okay, this character is going to do this. We're in spoiler territory. So Ajax, they said they always follow the Celestials until Ajax's mission. And I'm like, okay, so Ajax is going to turn against the Celestial.
Oh,
is what I definitely picked up from that.
I remember it saying until one thing... They always had unshakable faith until one thing. And I don't know, it said Ajax.
Yeah, it said, yeah. I was just like, all right, cool. But yeah, so these Celestials, they are the creators of everything in the Marvel Universe. They create planets and galaxies. And they have these people that they recruit called... This is what they tell us. That they recruit these people called Eternals to fight against these other things that are called Deviants that... were originally used to help promote intelligent life. So the way they said it was that deviants were originally created to take down apex predators that would wipe out the intelligent life on a planet. And they evolved into something else that then they became the apex predators to take out and try to kill people. So there was a little bit of a... Alright, so they're like, alright, great, we need to get these people who can take out these deviants that they created. And they're called the Eternals. They're from the planet Olympia, which, again, they're not really from that. You find out later that they're actually created by the Celestials as well on this, like, it's like, what is it, the Warforge? I think is what it's called?
World Forge.
The World Forge, thank you, yeah. Like I said, there's a lot that they pack into this movie.
People were, like, clowning on people who said it was dense. I get that. People, like, clowning on them. It was kind of dense. But, like, it was unnecessarily dense, I guess.
Yeah, some things were like, okay, do we really need to know about this? Or, like, did you have to bring this part into it to get there? And I saw something even today where people were like, people are hating it because it's the most diverse cast you have, and the director won an Academy Award just last year for their movie, so they're definitely not the director's fault. And I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, it's a huge risk. It's a big deviation from, from the MCU formula that made it so popular. I can see why people are like, yeah, this isn't exactly what we thought it was going to be. Not that it's bad. I actually liked it.
I enjoyed it.
So we'll talk about our personal opinions later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I understand why people would be upset about it. It is what it is. It is what it is. So going into it, anyways, back on the story. Oh man, there's just a lot that happens because you're right. And this is another thing that got me was the flashbacks. So we start off in 5000. We jump around a lot. There's a lot of jumping around. You don't really get a chance to see who people are, where they are. For a good bit of time. Because they're different people from the beginning to the end, more or less. Like, they start off with they're protecting humanity in some big moments like Mesopotamia, which is the cradle of civilization and all that.
Yeah.
And they're Babylon, and you see that kind of stuff too. You're just like, okay, cool. And
wait, I thought it was gonna do like a Tower of Babel thing, right? Because it was in Babylon, or am I crazy here?
No, that doesn't line up technically.
Those aren't.
Yeah, those weren't together.
Well, whatever.
So
call it Babylon, I guess.
But yeah, you find out. So there's all these. There's how many? There's 8 Eternals that do have names that are throughout human history.
Some of them.
Gilgamesh, which is a big
the original.
The adventurer. Then you have Athena, which was the goddess Athena, right? So you have that. You have Circe, which is also
sorceress.
Yeah. You have Icarus, which I'm like all these names. You have a Sprite.
Yeah.
And you have
Festus.
Because I always thought I was like, oh, fast us.
Spell it. Is it really Fastus?
Yeah, it is. Let me find it real quick. Icarus, Athena. There's Ajax. All right, let's see.
I don't remember who Ajax is.
Ajax, Salma Hayek's character.
No. I mean, like
she was the leader.
I know, but like what her counterpart would be. Icarus, boy, flew too close to the sun. Goddess of war.
I think of Ajax, but
yeah, I think.
I could. But anyways, Fastus is Phastos.
Okay.
And so each one had a specific power that they did. So Ajax, the leader, she could like heal people.
Yeah.
Fastus was like a smart technology inventor person. Icarus had flight and laser beams and kind of super strength at the same time.
They all kind of had super strength.
They all did. I mean, they were all pretty strong. And they didn't die. Like, they could live forever.
They're immortal. Yeah.
They're immortal, which obviously Eternals. There was Athena, who she could form any weapon out of cosmic energy, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. It was like, Yeah,
let me see what else we've got. Circe, she can manipulate inanimate matter through physical contact. So kind of like like, when you see Doctor Strange when he's fighting Thanos turn like the energy blast into like butterflies. Yeah. It's like that. She can do stuff like that. Let's see, we have Druig. Oh yeah, Druig. All right, Kingo. I'm gonna go on to Kingo. Yeah, Kingo.
I told you.
Yeah.
He has anime powers.
He can project cosmic energy projectiles from his hands.
Yeah, he uses finger guns. And
that was funny. There's Sprite, who can project lifelike illusions.
Yeah.
Which sometimes I'm like, can you because you can't really touch them, but sometimes I felt like you could. Like I felt like they.
I was never shown where you could touch them, but
yeah, sure. It was interesting. But yeah, I thought the most interesting was that she looked like a 12-year-old girl, which was really funny. There's Makari, who had super speed.
Makari. You said a different name at the beginning.
No, but okay. I'm pretty sure. And then you're a Druig who could manipulate the minds of others.
Yeah.
Which interesting.
Seemed like it'd be the most powerful.
And then Gilgamesh, who is the strongest one. Basically, he has like superpowered fists and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the main Eternals that you see through it. So.
And you don't give a crap about like any of them except maybe 3.
Maybe.
But
that's the problem when you have so many characters that you don't know anything about them.
Yeah, you don't like flesh them out.
And you don't have time. And it was a 2.5 hour movie.
It felt longer to me.
See, I did not feel like it felt like that long. I was like, the whole time I was like, I have no idea what's going on. So I was wrapped up in it.
Because I had no idea where it was going.
Yeah.
I couldn't see an end. So it just kept going. I was like, okay, where's the final the final act starting? Oh, that's how I was.
So your main bad guy is, quote unquote, the deviant.
Yeah. Main bad guy.
That's what they say. And then you find, so it goes back and forth. So we start 5,000, whatever, and then flash forward to present day. They all split off. They're living their lives. And it is like kind of just they're doing whatever, you know, like they're not really doing anything.
They're just kind of chilling.
Yeah, because they can't
waiting
go home.
for the word, the message to go home to Olympia. So they're literally just kind of chilling. Yeah, they just live among thousands of years.
Yeah, they literally. I think they got rid of the last one in like 1500.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, AD. So it was like 400 years that they were living as people without like any deviance or anything.
Yeah, sure.
And you find out, you follow on Sprite and Circe.
Yes.
As like they're kind of like living in London, they're doing their thing.
Jon Snow,
yeah.
Which I know his name's Dave. Don't remember his last name.
It was very interesting because I'm like,
it was hard.
He was there, but he wasn't there.
Yeah. He was like, he felt like a comedic relief character.
Yeah, Dane Whitman. Dane Whitman. A human who works at the Natural History Museum in London and is dating Circe, is his description here. And that was about it. That's all he did. But he's a very important character apparently in the comics, and you find that out later on. And it was like literally just a tease that they threw at the very end.
Which, that's Marvel for you. They always do that. They do that. Marvel does that.
Yeah. But it was interesting because he had a bigger role in the movie, but he didn't really do much.
He didn't have a role in the movie, but he was.
He wasn't like movie. A cameo. More, he was like actually like there.
Yeah, but I feel like his screen time was like 10 minutes.
No, yeah, he was in the beginning. They get attacked by a deviant, and he basically disappears until the end of the movie.
Yeah, and then yeah, I feel like they could have done something where they would have taken away.
It would have. There was so much going on. You didn't need to add anything else into this at all.
Matter of fact, should have taken some stuff out. But
we'll definitely. We'll get to that part in a little bit. As they're fighting the deviant, which Circe's powers really aren't very aggressive. Like she's not offensive at all.
Yeah, at all.
So she's just kind of like defending herself.
Pixie, though.
Yeah, Sprite.
Same thing. Pixie, Sprite, whatever.
Who looks like basically Peter Pan. Yeah. Is exactly what it is.
That's what they say.
No, they said she's Tinkerbell.
Yeah, Tinkerbell.
And I'm like, yeah, no, she's Peter Pan.
And she literally just has illusions, and she doesn't really do anything else.
That is exactly it. She's a storyteller, yeah. So there are two defensive characters being attacked, and then luckily Icarus shows up, who you find out has a history with Circe. So that was like, oh wow, there's he's like, oh wow, this is your ex kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. But yeah, he comes in. He kind of bodies this deviant a good bit.
Pretty well.
I mean, it was close because you find out this deviant doesn't go down as easily as the ones that they fought before. This one regenerates, and you're like, wow, I wonder where they got that power from.
Yeah, and it's literally it does the exact same thing that Ajax does to heal. So you're like, well, that's interesting. Wonder where that came from.
Exactly. I'm like, all right. So this
you don't find out for another 45 minutes.
It feels like. No, it takes a long time.
Which is fine, I guess.
They take their time. They really take their time. Because I've heard somebody say this is a family drama, and you very much feel that it is a family drama.
Yeah.
So
they go. Supposed to care about the family.
Yeah, you don't really care about these characters much.
Like maybe 3 of them that you're like, oh man.
What 3 characters do you care for?
I liked Icarus. I liked Circe, and I liked Speed Girl.
Oh, she was the least developed out of everybody. I liked it because she
was mute. She was interesting.
She wasn't mute. She was deaf.
Okay, whatever. So she used sign language. That's all you need to know.
She used sign language. Oh,
they don't really. She was deaf.
She was deaf. Like she's deaf in real life too.
Okay, makes sense.
So yeah, she wasn't mute. And it was anyway.
I like Druid too.
Druid was fine. Pretty cool. I did not like his character at all. Did not like him. But you were telling me the entire time, like, this he's a bad guy.
He plays a bad guy in everything. So he literally just looks like a bad guy.
Which, the whole movie, I'm like, all right, somebody's obviously going to betray somebody. And I'm like,
every time,
this is the bad guy.
Yeah, every time it showed us one of the main characters, like, oh, he's a bad guy. He's got to be the bad guy.
And we technically
were right. It turns out they are the bad guys.
Because the Eternals are bad guys.
Spoiler alert.
We've already gone. This is definitely heavy spoilers. So, obviously, if you don't want more spoilers, just turn this off at this point.
I mean, yeah, it's.
But you find out the Celestials' plan is not really benevolent. It's more of, hey,
I mean,
you're dooming a planet because basically it is. The Eternals make sure that the birth of a Celestial happens, and the birth of a Celestial happens by a planet exploding, because it goes into the planet and it like formulates and it thrives off of intelligent life. Is
apparently like the energy.
Yeah,
source.
So okay, great. That's why they need to make sure the intelligent life succeeds and everything, and they don't really need to get involved in human affairs because they want the human population to expand and everything. So the Earth is about to be destroyed because a Celestial is about to explode the whole thing to be born.
To make more planets.
Yeah, like billions more.
So I guess technically it is benevolent. Because it's for the universe, not just one planet.
It's just interesting. But you find out, so the Eternals really aren't there to protect anybody but the Celestials.
And they don't know that except like two of them.
Two of them know. And you find out, so Ajax, the leader, she knew.
Because she was the leader, and she was in contact with the Celestial
and
sent them.
Yeah, and you find out they've actually done this like millions of times, and they get their memories erased each time they're finished. So they're kind of just like, oh, hey, a new person, kind of a thing. And they go to him, well, she remembers, and she tells Icarus. And that kind of tips him over the edge a little bit. Because he's just like, he left Cersei at that point. They were dating, and
because he didn't like lying to her.
Yeah. He was the guy who like held onto his honor more than anything else. And that was his whole thing. He was like, it was very one-dimensional kind of a thing. Like he did one thing, and that was it. That was it.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
So he's doing his thing, and so you find out this whole time, and you don't find out until like basically the end of the movie that he's the one that is trying to stop their plan to stop the Celestials, because they're like, once everybody else finds out, they're like, oh my goodness, we need to save Earth, stop the Celestial somehow, and everybody's on board except for Icarus, and he's like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. And he's technically like the strongest one there.
Yeah, especially because Gilgamesh dies.
Yeah, he died. Oh my goodness, this movie jumps around so much. That's why we're jumping around a good bit too.
It's hard to, like, you could extract the main storyline, and you probably still have another 45 minutes of everything else that happens in the movie.
Let's get through the rest of the description, and then we can talk about this movie. All right, so you go back in time again. We find out that they kind of are defeating what they think is like the last deviants, and they're like, wow, and they're there. That
was in Babylon, right?
No, that was in South America. The Spaniards are coming in, killing everybody, and they're like in this Aztec temple.
Right, that's what. Right.
And Droog's like, I could stop all this by controlling their minds, and Ajax like, no, we have to let them do their thing. And
you find out why.
You find out why, because that helps the Celestials grow. And he's just like, whatever. So the team splits up at this point. They have a big fight about it. Like, they're just kind of like this. Athena is going crazy because her memories are overlapping each other, and she is attacking them
for some reason. Yeah, she's like goes battle crazy.
But she doesn't attack anybody else but them.
Yeah. I mean, actually, it makes sense, right?
I guess she's like, they're all dead anyways.
She wants to stop them because she knows why they're there.
Yeah, but she's like, they're all dead anyways. They're all dead anyways, kind of a thing. And she's trying to kill them. So it doesn't make sense why she's attacking them.
If you take out what she said, it makes sense why she's trying to stop them.
But she's not trying to stop them, is what it felt like. It felt like she was just trying to kill them.
Does killing them not stop them?
I guess. If the Eternals all died, I don't think anything would have changed. Besides them not stopping a Celestial at the end.
I mean, the Deviants would have been.
Yeah, but they got the last Deviant at that point.
I mean, not crazy. Athena doesn't know that. But whatever.
Anyway, so they're fighting. Yeah. The team breaks up. They go off. Gilgamesh is like, I'll take care of Athena, make sure that she's not going to do anything too crazy.
She's like the only one that can...
Yeah, they all split up. Cersei and Icarus get together for a few hundred years until... Yeah.
Until he leaves her because he is tired of lying to her.
Yeah. He does. Which he does. Yeah. Anyways, go back to present day, and you find out that Icarus went to go see Ajax shortly before the events of the movie take place, like the present day stuff. And he's like talking to her, and she's like, he's like, oh good, our job's about done, the Celestial's about to be born, we can go home or whatever, we can leave. And she's like, actually, you know what, I want to stop the Celestials, I want to save this planet, it's special. And he's like, no, we can't do that. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And he's like, he really doesn't try stopping or arguing against her too much, probably because he knows, he's like, all right, I've got to. So he goes to stop her another way. He takes her to Alaska, where some deviants had been frozen in the ice, and they're waking up because, I guess, global warming.
Yeah, because they were melting, whatever.
The ice is melting, and he's like, oh, there's deviants here. And he pushes her down there, and they kill her. And he's like, all right. And
and one of them, like the alpha absorbs
one.
Her powers.
Yes.
And he kind of evolves a little bit.
It does. He evolves. Every time he absorbs a power of an Eternal, he evolves a little bit more. Because they're made from the same creator, so they're, I guess, kind of compatible. That's a good way to put it.
The Eternals can't evolve specifically.
They're made literally not to evolve.
Is what they were told.
Yeah. And so, this deviant and then like 4 other ones or 5 other ones are the ones that have been causing havoc this entire time. And then we find out, so they go and they get the band back together again. This is their whole plan. They're like, we got to get together to stop these deviants, and figure out what's going on, because they don't know what's going on before all this stuff until they finally find out what the actual thing is. And that's about it for that. Like, they get the band back together, then like, okay, now we got to get a plan to stop the Celestial, and we'll put it to sleep. I'm like, oh, that's a nice thing to do. Just make it go to sleep, not wake up and explode the planet until they can figure out a way to do it safely. And that doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It would have worked.
It technically would have worked.
It 100% would have worked.
But Icarus is like, all right, well, Cersei's in charge, so I'm going to let her decide what we do. But he doesn't really mean that.
He doesn't even.
He doesn't.
He does not mean that at all.
And they really did that. And we saw this, somebody else was saying this, but he only did that because we hadn't seen the flashback yet to find out that he's the one that killed Ajax, or got Ajax killed. And after you do, then he's like, actually, you know what? I've let this go on long enough, and I'm gonna make sure that the Celestial is born.
It would have made more sense for him to have been against it the entire time. From the beginning.
But he was going along with it for like the longest time.
Which would have made sense, like, because Kingo was kind of against it to begin with too.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't really care. Let's do this. Like, why not just have Icarus be like, I think we should follow through with our plan, because that's what we're made to do. And just have him be like that, instead of him like...
I guess because they really didn't want you to guess that was the twist.
But it would have made the twist better.
It would have made the twist better.
It wasn't much of a twist, because we were like... Well, it wasn't much of a twist. I don't know.
It was interesting. But that was one of the biggest spoilers of the movie. So you have the Celestial's a bad guy, the Deviants are a bad guy, and Icarus is kind of a bad guy at this point.
Icarus is like the main antagonist at this point.
At this point, yeah. Because the Deviant kind of just disappears for a good bit. After he kills Gilgamesh and takes his power, he just disappears.
He becomes sentient, basically.
And he can talk at this point.
And he's like, oh, I see your memories. And then he runs away.
He's like, I'm going to get my revenge on you guys because you've been killing all of my kind, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that's a pretty fair
enough, dude.
Judgment there. And I'm just, it's bizarre. So anyways, they go through it, they get to the final battle where they're like, all right, they have a plan to stop the Celestial from coming out of the earth and destroying it. And it kind of works. They're using Druid to kind of tell it to go to sleep.
They're
using his mind control.
Each other and combine their powers together through the power of friendship.
Exactly it. They combine all their powers together, you're right, to make his power stronger than anything else. And
put it to sleep.
It kind of starts working.
It works.
And then...
And Icarus shows up. He's like, wait a second, this is bad. So he flies over and starts laser beaming people.
And then they have to fight against him. And he really should have won, I think. He was doing pretty good.
I mean, I don't think he would have won. I think he would have won. If they were trying to kill him, they probably would have killed him. They were just kind of trying to keep him out of the way while Cersei... First off, how do they even... Like, why are they like, oh, Cersei, it's all up to you now? Why do they think she is somehow able to stop the Celestial by herself now, when they literally just said, all right, we need to combine all our powers to be able to stop it? But then Icarus shows up, and they're all like, oh, we'll stop Icarus. You go stop it. Why? How do they know? Like, oh, yeah, Cersei's gonna do it because she has the power to change water into a rock.
No, a rock into water, a rock into air, a rock into... Yeah. Oh,
I guess technically earlier, there's a fight with a deviant, and she is able to...
Turn it into a tree.
So, like, you haven't been able to do that before.
I felt like...
And they don't explain why.
I thought... The way I was interpreting the scene was it was underwater, and it was drowning, and she used the water to turn the water into a tree, and it was caught up in it because the water was going through it.
Yeah, which made sense. But they didn't,
that was not
expand on that at all. They're just like... You've never done that before. And that's it. And they leave it at that. They don't be like, oh, well, here's why. Or, well, this should be why. No, they don't. They just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And, excuse me, she doesn't, like, try and experiment at all at any other point and just kind of wings it.
Like I said, they had so much they were trying to get into this movie that they probably didn't have time to do that.
They had so much that they didn't get anything.
Yeah. So this movie is very heavy on a lot of stuff that didn't have to all be in there.
It felt like they were like, there's a target here, and they're shooting like 100 bullets, but nowhere near the middle. They're not hitting anywhere near the middle. They're hitting all on the edges.
Oh man, let's finish the movie and let's talk about what we can do better.
I don't even know what we've done in the movie.
So they're at the final battle. Icarus
much.
Is going in, and then the Deviant comes back again.
Yeah, the Deviant just shows up out of the water, just whoop, and he's like, ha! And he jumps in and he hits Icarus. So it seems like he's on their side for a second, because they were kind of beating Icarus up, and he jumps up and hit him, and then they start hitting him. It doesn't...
They're all fighting each other.
Yeah. It's like a brawl. It's like...
Yeah.
These chaos. Eternals versus Icarus versus the Deviant versus the Eternals. Kind of a deal.
Yeah.
It is chaos. And it did not seem like they knew what they were doing.
No, I don't think anybody... Like, the whole plan did not really make sense a ton. Because a lot of things...
Yeah, and then Druig gets, like, buried into the ground by Icarus for a while. And he doesn't show up for, like, 10 minutes. And he just comes back randomly.
He just walks back up afterwards. Like, literally just walks over.
Yeah. He's like, oh, poop, and he knocks out Sprite. Yeah, because
Cersei's going up there, and Sprite's the last line of defense because she sided with Icarus.
Because she's in love with him.
She's in love with Icarus.
For some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes
sense. It was
sense,
a good tragic type thing. But
it wasn't very... What's the word? Foreshadowed at all. It wasn't like... They didn't show her, like...
No,
watching him at all.
Without Kingo explaining literally what was going on, you would not
like
know.
If they'd just shown, the scene where it was Icarus and Cersei, like, choosing each other. If they'd showed Sprite over there, like, kind of watching from a distance looking sad, would have made sense.
It was interesting.
And they didn't, like, build on that at all. They set up a bunch of things, and they never build it up from the ground level. Like, they plant a bunch of seeds, and they never water any of them. That's what it felt like.
There was a lot of listeners. We had a friend that said that he liked it up the first two acts, and the third act he said it kind of fell apart. Because it really did, because they couldn't tie it together.
Everywhere.
And it was funny because, Sprite gets knocked out, Cersei's finally going to do it, and then Icarus shows up again. He breaks free, and he's, like, about to kill her, and she's just like, okay, fine.
Wait, well, before that, she starts turning the Celestial into, like,
marble. Rock.
Somehow.
Well, she didn't really.
Yeah, she
just started doing it.
She started doing it, and then Icarus shows up, and he tries a laser beamer, and he just can't do it.
Because he just loves her so
much. I like that scene. I don't care what anyone says. I thought. Yeah,
we had friends who did not like that. I thought it was fine.
They did build on that. He specifically says, if I could destroy the entire planet and still remember you, I would be totally fine with it. That's literally what he says.
And he's like,
keep my memories of
you. But
yeah,
he's like, I'll kill you. When they were in the ship, he's like, I'll kill you all. And she's like, even me, and he doesn't answer.
Yeah. Like, you said that it was kind of weird. I was like, no. It's literally shown, finally, that he only cares for her.
I said I had a couple of different explanations for why he didn't do it.
Yeah.
Is what I was saying.
There was only one for me. It was because he loved Cersei. And he didn't want to kill her. That's it.
And he doesn't, so then they all team up together. They all use their powers.
Which it didn't seem like it was,
like they wanted to?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't matter. They did.
Yeah,
no, I think it did because...
It just seemed like...
Icarus was the last one.
Yeah.
They all teamed up, used their powers, channeled them into her, and she basically kills the Celestial. She kills the Celestial. Turns it into stone.
Through the power of love.
I can't imagine the main... Celestial was too happy about that.
No, he wasn't.
He was not, because he shows up in kind of an after. It wasn't even an after credit. It was like
it was at the end of the movie.
At the end of the movie, he shows up and he like kidnaps all of them, and he's like,
her out of the sky.
He's hilarious. She's like, and just gets pulled up into the space.
He's like, "Yo, you decided to kill a Celestial for this one planet. Let's go see if that was worth it." And they teleport away.
Yeah, he's like, because he can see all their memories. He's gonna go through all their memories, and see if they should have done that or not.
And some of them didn't get yeeted away because they were on the ship. It was Druig?
Athena,
Speedy Girl, I already forgot her name.
Makari.
Like Makari. And Druig? Druig.
They're like the only three.
This is the after credit scene, by the way. They're like, it's been weeks. Where are they? And...
Yeah, the after credits were interesting, too. I did not know any of this stuff, because I'm not familiar with these characters at all. Neither. We had to ask people that we knew there, like, hey, who's this person? Yeah. Hey, what just happened?
And the little troll shows up.
Pip.
Pip shows up. I think I've heard of Pip. I don't know.
And he starts announcing...
Harry Styles.
Harry Styles, who plays an interesting character. He is Eros, the Prince of Titan.
Another Eternal.
Another Eternal. Brother of Thanos.
Right. Brother of Thanos.
That was interesting. Which doesn't
make sense.
I'm sure it's comic accurate, but in the MCU, it was very confusing.
It's like, didn't you just say your entire planet was destroyed?
It's just going to get very... I want to see where they're going to go from here with this.
Yeah.
And then you find out the last end credit scene is... Kit Harington's character,
Dane, I remember his name.
Because he's like, he was telling Cersei before she gets kind of
like literally right before she gets out.
He's like, I've got a
secret of my own.
Yeah.
Turns out my family is a lot more complicated, or something like that.
Yeah, and he's the Black Knight. And so he has his ebony sword.
Haven't heard of before.
I'm not super into those comics.
Marvel comics a whole lot too much. I personally like DC comics more. Just being honest here. But
I can't disagree. I honestly don't even read most of their main stuff. I read I liked Invincible, kind of not mainstream stuff.
That's right. Invincible was good.
Yeah.
Usually the independent stuff, it's kind of better.
It can be. It definitely can be.
A lot of it can be.
It gets less comic booky sometimes.
Yeah, and it's more story.
And I feel like they make more fun of comic books.
Yeah. It's
stuff,
fun.
Which I enjoy that a lot. So, yeah, and that's the end of the movie, more or less.
Also, it turns out when he's about to grab the sword, someone talks to him.
Oh, and that was interesting.
It's apparently Blade.
Yeah, it was Blade, which... I did not recognize his voice because I have only seen him in 2 things.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the movies.
So no, I'm talking. No, it's the new one.
Okay, well I don't. How are you supposed to know that it's him though?
The movie hasn't even come out yet. They don't have any other news besides who's going to be in it, and I think the director.
Yeah, but how do they know it's Blade? Right?
People recognize his voice.
What voice? Whose voice?
Oh, it's Mahershala Ali. I think so.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, they did.
And they announced that he was going to be Blade.
Right.
And then the director in interviews. Yeah. So I was like, who is that voice? Because I don't really recognize his voice, but then people are like, oh, it's him. And then the director confirmed that it was him.
And even Blade. So,
how is he?
What's their connection, right?
Yeah.
Is the Black Knight a vampire hunter as well? Does he kill vampires? Does he fight vampires?
There's a lot of questions that this movie brought up.
I might have to read some comics on it.
This is like an Avengers level movie, but you don't know any. So imagine if the Avengers movie was the first movie, and had all those same teases and everything with Loki at the end, but you had no idea what was coming because that was the first one. When he. Oh wait, which one was that?
Thanos at the end. It's Thanos at the end.
It's Thanos at the end. You're right. I was thinking of Captain America's movie, where Loki is in the end of it.
Yeah.
And he's
the lab
looking at the Tesseract. Thank you.
Yeah.
I blanked on it. I was going to say the Infinity Cube.
the Cube of Infinity.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to Eternals. That's the end of the movie. This movie, I think you're right. I think you could have separated the BC stuff as one movie and then the present day stuff as one movie.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I think they could have done that. I think they could have expanded a lot more and done it that way.
The deviant stuff. Okay, first off, it kind of makes sense because he said the deviants were just a distraction.
And who said that when?
Icarus. He was using them as a distraction so they couldn't stop the emergence.
Oh, yeah.
But even so, it felt like they didn't mean it as a distraction, but they're like, oh, what are we supposed to do? Oh, they were supposed to be a distraction the whole time.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Because the Athena just kills the main deviant bad guy like that.
Yeah, no, he could not really fight them well. I'll say that.
I mean, he was killing them.
He killed a couple of them.
Yeah.
But that's because I feel like they weren't doing their job very well.
Yeah, if they fought all together, he would.
Because they were fighting each other at that point.
Yeah.
And when they were in the jungle fighting against the deviants, there was multiple deviants.
Yeah.
And they killed all of them.
Except for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, but yeah, if they had focused only on the old stuff first and really fleshed out the characters and then teased the present day stuff in the second one at the end of that one and then done another one as just the present day stuff, I think there's enough in both of those. You could have done it.
So
I don't think it would have worked out well.
Would you have,
because people wouldn't have seen them,
started it through the BC stuff and going through the years until present day at the end, or how would you have done it?
I think you could have done through time different things like
until we get to present day.
Almost till basically at the end of the movie is like present day.
Yeah, have the end of the movie be the snap and them coming back, and then Ajax being like, "Oh, the emergency is gonna start."
Do you think they got snapped?
Yeah, I have a better question for you. Way better question for you.
Okay.
Did the Celestials get snapped? Interesting question.
I'm gonna say that I feel like the Celestials made the Infinity Stones.
Right.
So I don't think they would have been. I don't think they would have been affected.
In the title, the text crawl, it says, that there was. Crap. What? I don't even remember what it said. It literally said 6 anomalies. So like the 6 stones. Before the Celestials, I think, or it was the other way around.
I don't think the Celestials would have gotten snapped, because
I don't think so either.
Even in like the Watcher, I feel like the Celestials are above the Watcher. Like in the What If series, spoilers for the What If series. If Ultron, we
already talked about What If series though.
Yeah, I'm just people maybe when I watched that one.
Yeah, okay.
So if Ultron in the one, if he probably wouldn't have been able to fight the Celestials.
But he did. He killed them.
He killed the Celestials?
Yeah, in his one universe, he killed everything.
Oh man! But did he kill the Celestial? Did we see him killing a Celestial?
No, but we didn't see him killing everyone either.
Yeah, I guess they make galaxies, not universes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, you're right. I think so. Yeah, they might have gotten blipped.
But even if they didn't, see, this is where it gets so bad when you have everything connected. Like, okay, well, where were they when this happened? Or where did this happen? Because the Celestial guy, the main guy, would not have been cool with him taking out half of intelligent life, because that would have screwed up with a bunch of emergencies. So that's the bad thing when you connect things so intricately. Because, like, you start to be like, okay, well, this doesn't line up with this, and this, and this, and this, and this.
And that's the way they explained it away in the Eternals, was that if it doesn't deal with the deviants, they don't really worry about it. Kind of a thing.
Yeah, except, when you stop a Celestial from being born.
I feel like at this point, they would have been fine with it, because it would just set them back, because the population would have grown again, and because they didn't get rid of all life. He just got rid of half of life.
Yeah, but the real reason was because the deviants were killing humans faster than that.
Yeah.
And that killed half the population.
Yeah, but I feel like it also didn't really, stop their plan. It just slowed it down, and they could just wait another 5,000 years if they wanted to.
Yeah. Maybe.
So, my theory.
I think Eternals would have gotten snapped, though. 100%.
I think they did. I think.
Maybe none of them did, but they could have.
But yeah, I think Are they organic? They bleed. They have wounds and they get healed.
Yes.
But they're also
I'm gonna go ahead and say
forged as robot type.
But they're like semi-celestial beings.
Yeah, they have celestial energy.
Have infinite celestial energy inside of them, like in their core.
Yeah, because I don't think Thanos snapping would affect machines and stuff like vision.
Okay, I see
wouldn't
where
have
you're
been. You know what I'm saying?
No. That's sentient life, right? Didn't he say sentient life, intelligent life, all living beings? No, you're right. All living beings.
I feel like it's just living.
So they're technically living.
I think they are. I think because Celestials create life, so they could create that life too. I wasn't sure if they were more robot or more.
I
think they're more people.
I'd go more people.
Another thing I thought was interesting is why did they make them look like humans? Because they don't.
They would. Yeah, they weren't really.
They weren't did they get remade as different species of a?
Yeah. I'd
say each planet.
Go to each planet. Yeah.
Okay, and that's when their memories get wiped and all that. Okay.
Which when you think about it, why wipe their memories to begin with?
Because of the thing that makes them go crazy.
I don't think that is real.
Well, how do you explain Athena going crazy though? They explain it in the movie
because it helps the plot. I think. Well, that's true. It doesn't really.
Too many
it's
memories
all part of the plot
in the mind.
But I feel like because they're so intricate and powerful, anyways, I feel like it would have been fine.
Yeah,
I feel like there wouldn't be a chance of them turning if they've been doing it for so long and they understand why they're doing it, rather than wiping their memories
and becoming desensitized.
Time.
Yeah, I feel like the reason the movie explained it was because it makes them go crazy if they don't. But then why did Ajax not have her memories wiped?
Yeah, exactly.
And she did her memories right, crazy? And she turned against the Celestials. So she didn't
because of the Earth. The Earth.
Yeah, Earth was special,
and it didn't really show why.
Yeah, why were they special? Like, I did not see that.
Yeah, like she said, I saw or whatever. So many things that made me realize they didn't show any of the things.
Yeah, we have no idea why are this special.
She was living alone on some farm in South Dakota. Why, if you love the humans so much, why aren't you among them?
I think because that way people would recognize that she's not aging. She can be by herself. Sure,
but I mean, you could literally just...
I love how they explain how Kingo gets away with being a movie star.
Yeah.
And how nobody knows he's aging because that was his grandfather.
This is my great-grandfather. My great-grandfather. My grandfather.
He, hands down, was the best one. We didn't talk about him enough.
He was really funny.
He was great.
Because he's barely in the movie.
He's barely in the movie.
Okay. Yeah. So, we talked about this, but literally... My phone? Doesn't matter. My phone's ringing. Doesn't matter. We see, like, when they reveal... your whole memories are a lie. The Earth's gonna destroy in 7 days or a day. Kingo's like, cool, I'm out, and he leaves. He's not in the final battle at all. Yeah, he's gone. Not. He literally leaves
because he agrees with Icarus. He's like, I'm with you to the end.
Yeah, but you'd expect him to maybe
help Icarus, but he doesn't want to fight against the Eternals.
That's true. He does say
he's like, I'm not fighting against you guys, but I don't agree with you. So where does he go?
Believe in my beliefs, but not enough to hurt anyone. Yeah. Not to fight any of you.
But he does.
He just leaves. It cracks me up so much. He's like, all right, see ya.
He's the best part of this movie. Absolutely. Him and his assistant.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He was fun.
They were great.
His assistant was really good.
Yeah.
He was like video recording it the whole time.
Yeah.
And he was like, did you get that? Oh, it was a fun movie.
It's a fun movie. It's just you do not go in expecting to have a hero and a bad guy in a fight, and the bad guy loses and the good guy wins because there's no real clear good guys here.
That's true. Yeah, and we forgot Icarus after he.
Oh my goodness!
At the end, he's like I'm sorry, and he's crying, and he flies literally into the sun.
He flies into the sun, unlike some people think.
Yeah,
he flies into the sun,
and it's made out to be that that kills him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's dead. I don't think him flying into the sun is going to kill him.
I don't think
personally. So. Yeah, I know that's hot, but whatever.
Yeah.
With what they've been through, I'm pretty sure he'd be okay. So
maybe he's like an exile type of thing.
Yeah, I'm confused what they're going to do with him if they bring him back.
I think they should bring him back.
I would love to see him brought back.
He did great.
He was really good. I like that actor.
Yeah, he was very good in the movie. Like I think all the characters were good. Like the actors did great with their characters. Really?
I didn't like Sprite's acting. Personally,
how old is she?
A lot of her. Yeah, go ahead. I don't want to bash someone if she's like 18 or something.
She wasn't great, but I think she wasn't supposed to be great.
A lot of the line reading, it felt like, oh, whoa, couldn't get a better line than that. Personally,
all right, let's see.
It just didn't feel. I don't know. She wasn't the best actor, but a lot of them were really good. I liked Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh was fun too.
Yeah, no, like I'm saying, that's what the characters are fun. Yeah, I liked them,
but we didn't get too much depth with them.
All right, IMDb does not have it. I'm gonna look up Google.
Like it felt like with Athena, they only brought up the memory thing to like put the plot forwards instead of it actually being like its own thing.
She's 14.
She's 14?
Yeah.
All right, never mind. She's fine. She did good.
Look at her pictures, though, on here. Like, they're really young ones.
Oh, yeah.
She was born in 2007.
Okay. All right. She did fine.
She did fine.
She was 14.
Whatever. The characters were good. Like I said, they just did not give enough time where you could really care about the characters.
Yeah.
They only gave it to a couple of them.
They put too much time in the movie, but not enough time in the movie.
That's the thing. They had a huge plot and huge characters, and they were trying to give enough to both, but they could not do it.
Like they had a giant checklist, and they tried checking off as much as they could, but they couldn't.
Like I said, fun movie. But you go in with your expectations. They're like, okay,
family drama,
kind of a hot mess, and it's not your typical superhero movie.
It's not an Avengers movie. It's not bad guy, fight bad guy, win. It's not.
No.
It's like a tree. And the tree goes up and the tree branches out and you can't follow a single branch.
It felt more like a drama than anything else, where there's not really a clear, like,
it's good just guys drama.
Yeah. Or it's just like, this is just what happened and this is what you get.
It's like, here is a philosophical question
and of course
for you.
Missteps too, but
do whatever you want with it.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What would you change about the movie to make it better?
I would either take out the deviants or the celestial. I would have them focus on one. Period.
Okay.
I would have it be, if you're going the deviant route, they realize that the celestials also created the deviants, and they're like trying to find out why that deviant is going to kill him. Or trying to kill him.
Okay.
Trying to get revenge or whatever. And they're like, that's what causes them to lose their faith in the Celestial. Because they're like, if you created them and they turned out bad.
Yeah.
Why didn't Steve choose me? You know, something like that. Yeah. And then if you're doing Celestial, take out the deviants. Take them out. Take them out. Take them out. Take them out. Yeah. Just have it be, why are these earthquakes happening? Let's get down to the bottom of this. Why is Athena going crazy? Let's get down to the bottom of this. How are we going to stop it? And then have it just be Icarus being the bad guy.
That would be a good twist. But yeah, with it too many
stuff. Too much stuff. Have Ajax either just be dead or just don't have her die. Yeah. Have it be Ajax and Icarus. Yeah. That's what I think. I think I would terrible. Choose a path and stick to it. It seemed like I'm just gonna keep bringing it up. They're trying to hit too many targets and they couldn't hit a single one.
They're going down a path and the path keeps going over here and then they jump back over here.
And they're like
like tree branches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's so what would you rate it then?
10 out of 10. I don't know. Probably. I don't have my phone. I would like to look at my Marvel list. If we're just doing Marvel movies, I would put it.
Yeah, well, I mean, just out of 10, what would you rate it? And then where on the MCU list would you rate it?
Probably 6.
A 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think that's about what I would give it as a 6. Yeah. That's not, yeah.
So let's go. Good. I'd put it in the upper half of the middle of the movies. So I'd put it around the.
Give me what's above it and what's below it. Just like one or two movies above.
Above it would probably be Ant-Man.
Okay.
Below it would be. I really want to look at my list. Below it would be Captain America.
Okay.
The first one.
Ooh, the first one.
Yeah, because I love Civil War and I love.
Yeah, but you think the Captain America First Avenger is worse than Eternals?
It's way more self-contained or contained, but I would probably rather. Oh man, I don't know. I'd probably rather watch another Eternal. I'd rather watch Eternals than Captain America. You have more characters to watch, rather than just being Steve Rogers and some of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I can't agree with that, but I see. I would put it more like. I think below it would be Thor 2.
Thor 2's at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just thinking like what's right below it for me, and then above it, like the one right above it would be Iron Man 3.
Really? Iron Man 3?
I think so.
Not Iron Man 2? No, Iron Man 2 is lower.
Yeah.
For me. Iron Man 2 is below Thor Dark World for you?
I really like Thor movies. I like Loki's character like a lot. It was great.
I guess.
There's a personal preference in there as well. Okay. I love Thor and Loki's arc. I think their stuff was really great.
That's good.
So the Thor movies and then the Captain America movies are like my favorites because of that. Iron Man movies are like they're okay, but he's like the same person almost the entire time.
Yeah, he doesn't change.
Even when he has these issues, like they go away by the end of the movie. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So I'm just like okay, but like Steve Rogers, I felt he had a pretty good arc, and I think Thor and Loki had a pretty good arc. So
okay,
that's where I would put them right there. But yeah, anyway, you've been watching anything good recently? Anything you like?
Oh. I've been watching Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic. Kingdom Labyrinth. I don't know. It's okay. I'm just trying to get through it. I watched it before, but I never finished all of it. So
okay,
it's
so
fine.
You're not gonna finish. Yeah,
it's okay.
Well, I finished Suits. It was okay. It was
nice.
It was. I'm kind of glad it's over.
Yeah.
And let's see. We've been watching Django Unchained a little bit. I haven't watched it before. I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Probably my favorite Tarantino movie.
Really?
It feels more like an actual movie than Tarantino movie so far for me.
Okay, I guess I can see that.
Because the other stuff is like just pretty out there and kind of just.
I liked Reservoir Dogs, and I
didn't see Reservoir Dogs.
I like that one. That was a fun one, but it's very early.
Is that the one where they're like just in a warehouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Talking
about
it was fun.
After the heist happened or something like that.
Exactly. And then I'm watching, obviously, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Put that on the other day and just let it play for the good bit of the day.
That's not a show for me that I can just have it play. I gotta watch that crap.
And I was just like, to me, it's like a vibe. Like, I was just listening, the music's just in the background, and I'm like, oh, I remember this part.
But if that happens, I'm just like, staring
there
at
was
the
a good
TV
bit
the
of
whole
that
time.
too, but also have a 2-year-old that's like pulling my attention the entire time.
2-year-olds aren't real.
They're fake. They're fake news.
If I was gonna put a show on in the background, it'd be The Office or Psych. Psych's a great background show.
Yeah, but Avatar Last is short. The episodes are short.
Yeah.
The music's amazing.
Oh,
and if I want to be like, oh, hey, this sounds like an action scene, I can poke my head in there real quick. It's over in like 5 minutes, and I can get back to what I'm doing.
That's true.
And I know I'm not missing any story stuff because I already know what's going on. So I can come in at literally any moment. There's not like a big mystery that I'm like, oh, I want to watch this part or whatever. So to me, that's like the perfect show to put in the background.
I started reading the One Punch Man manga. It's just as good. It's hilarious. Really? It's so funny.
Is it much different from the show?
So far, no. It's like the same.
Okay.
But like, there's more of the manga than the TV show.
Yeah. Well,
but it's such a funny show, and like the writers, the creator, are so good. All right. Because he did Mob Psycho 100 too.
Yeah, that was fun.
Which was good.
It wasn't my favorite, but I liked it more than
really
a lot
funny.
of other stuff that I've seen.
Yeah. I've been reading that. Which is fun.
That's good. And you got anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to recommend or that you've been enjoying?
Nope. I think that's it.
No?
I'm trying to think.
I've been playing the Marvel's Avengers game some more. Oh, yeah. I think I'm almost to the end of the main storyline.
Okay. How is it?
It's fun.
I've never heard anything good about it.
It's really hard to get into it. But like I like the Marvel Avengers. And Christina walked in and she was just like, wow, that does not look anything like the movie characters. I think that's a big turnoff for people.
That is. Yeah.
Is like, wow. Like, because it's so popular. And then you have a whole other set of characters that don't look anything like them really. And you're just like, this is kind of odd.
Yeah.
But it's fun. The gameplay is it gets a little repetitive. But I like the story of it, and it's very comic booky. So I'm like, all right, this is kind of fun. So I'm enjoying it. Pretty good. And I think that I'm hoping I can finish it up soon and then move on to the next chapter of it. But the Avengers Assemble campaign's it's been pretty good. I would recommend it. I wouldn't say I would play it in like multiplayer. Like the actual fighting mechanics is not great.
Really?
I guess. Like,
sad.
I haven't tried it out.
Okay, out of every like single story
yeah.
game you've played, what would you say are the best fighting mechanics you've had?
That I like personally, or just that have the best mechanics?
Best mechanics.
I want to be really sarcastic and say Spec Ops, the line, because those are terrible.
Spec Ops was a great game, though.
I would say the Batman Arkham has some really great fighting mechanics.
Wherever that studio is, they also did the Lord of the Shadow Mordor.
Okay,
so it's like the exact same fighting style. It feels so good.
I'm trying to think. I liked the Division's fighting mechanics more or less, like the way they made it. They broke it. It's basically the better version of the Marvel fighting mechanics, where it's very similar, like gear and upgrades and stuff like that, but it's much more easy to understand.
Yeah,
and like use.
Like
I just literally just go in and I do equip the best equipment, and that's what I do for all my characters.
Nice. Okay, I love those options. I like the options.
Yeah, I'm not going through and like,
where you can get super intricate
and
with it. Yeah, instead of just you having to choose your best, and you can't like sort it by anything. Yeah. Oh, I like that.
But it's very similar because you have like factions that you can help out and get rewards from, and like you're fighting against this global thing, and you can like clear it. I guess I don't think you can clear areas. But it's interesting. Like you unlock different characters as you go through, because like the Avengers have disassembled whatever, and as you go through, you can recruit different ones back, and you don't choose which ones. They come along in the story, like and then they have their own story arc that you can complete. So as like you're playing as Hulk or whatever, there's a storyline that he's like hunting down some people that are using gamma radiation, and there's like you do missions for that.
Isn't that Troy Baker?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Nolan North as
Iron Man.
So
Travis Willingham is Thor.
The acting's fun. The characters are pretty fun. Kamala is actually a pretty good character.
Harris?
No, Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
She's like young though, isn't she?
Yeah, no, she's like definitely a teenager.
She's the stretchy one?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. Because there's like a bunch of Miss Marvels in Marvel.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's hard to know which one's which.
But she's a pretty fun character to play as. Like, her quips are pretty good, and like her character's not like annoying or anything. So I enjoy that. Like I said, the characters are a lot of fun. It's just the gameplay mechanics and the like the moving around is pretty annoying.
It's the kind where like
it's like again, it's like
you stop touching it and this will kind of take a couple steps deal, or
kinda. It's very much like the Division when you're in a safe house.
Oh, it just walks. You can't control the speed.
You can kinda sometimes, but like the moving around and everything, like the motion blur, and you're just
feels like groggy.
It feels groggy.
It's slow.
It feels very groggy and slow.
I hate
that. Not a huge fan of that part. And that's, I think, the biggest downfall of that game is just, like, moving around. I'm like, this is not great.
You know what I am excited for?
What?
Spider-Man 2. The game.
The Spider-Man, speaking of, that's another good one with good fighting mechanics.
Oh, yeah. I feel like those are the same...
Insomniac?
Did they also do the Batman games?
No.
That was Rockstar, wasn't it?
I think it was Rockstar.
Or Rocksteady?
Rocksteady? It's one of those.
I'm pretty sure it's Rocksteady. I don't think... Rockstar did GTA and stuff, so that's not...
Yeah, no. I don't... Is it Rocksteady or... Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But I want to say it's not the same developer, but it could be the same...
It is. It's Rocksteady.
Yeah, but it could... They did Spider-Man 2 also?
Let's find out. I don't think so.
Because I'm pretty sure, like, they could outsource it, so, like, Insomniac did the world building and all that, but, like, Rocksteady could have done the fighting programming.
Maybe they did.
I don't know if that's a thing or not, but it's possible. Because I think they
didn't.
Okay. Well, Insomniac did a really good job with that, too.
Yeah.
But I think, like, Rocksteady probably has some of the best fighting mechanics, because it's so fluid and combo-y. It's always really fun.
That's the thing. That's, like, when you feel like you're actually... Because, when you're playing a character, and, like, your own limitations can feel like a limitation for the character. Yeah. That's supposed to be really good. So, like, when you play this Batman, you feel like, okay, because you're doing all these combos and everything that Batman would be able to do.
Literally, like, flying across the room.
Yeah.
Which
same
technically...
thing with Spider-Man.
Yeah, it doesn't make
like,
sense.
They make it feel like you're actually Spider-Man.
Yeah.
When they can do that, that's great. Yeah. Oof. Amazing. So anything that does that, like, where you feel like, okay, I'm not slowing the character down.
Superpowers. Yeah.
That's always great. So any game that does that, I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
With it, but yeah, let's see. Any other games I'm playing? Not really. I'm still going through Skyward Sword, Legend of Zelda.
I was literally about to say I want to play Skyrim again.
Skyrim's good too.
But I want to do it where it won't glitch out on me. Skyrim is glitchy, dude. Yeah, Skyrim. It's always just been game data glitchy for me. Like, it doesn't save.
Okay, so you're talking about the actual game data, not the game itself.
Well, because I was missing a trophy, and it's the one where you have to get married. And I go into the temple, and I wait, and I wait, and I wait, and I wait, and I fast travel, and they're mad at me because I never showed up. I'm like, dude, I was here the whole time. And I even went back a different game save data point, and I tried it, and it just wouldn't let me do it. So it's like this current run that I'm doing won't let me get that trophy, and I hate it.
Can you just do a different run and get it real fast?
Well, no, because I don't know. That's the confusing part. It's like, are the trophies just on the system, or on my thing?
I don't think they're ever actually on a specific save file.
It's possible.
Because if you did, you would have to do it all in one run.
Yeah, that's what I was trying.
I don't think you'd have to. I'm pretty sure you can go back and do the game a couple times.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
That's possible.
Try that.
I'll have to try that at some point.
Yeah. Well, anyways, as you guys know, you can follow us on Facebook. Check out the blog, which I really need to be updating. Have not updated it in a good minute. And our YouTube channel. We are also on, Anchor with all that. So we got Spotify and Apple Music.
I don't know what Anchor is, but I believe it.
Hey, Anchor is a great podcasting platform for you to use.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I will, like I said, we've said this before, I will sell anything if it makes money.
Me too. I'm right there with you.
But yeah, anyways, right, we will catch you guys next time.
Thanks for watching.